Hey you guys, today we are making Model Magic cows. There's kind of a lot of steps to these. They're not hard, but we are gonna have Model Magic that we're modeling with. And then we also have beads we're gonna use. And then we're also going to be painting, okay? So you're gonna get 2 ounces of Model Magic. And then you're also gonna get a plate to work on, okay? The first thing we wanna do is we wanna tear off a small piece off the side. That's gonna be big enough for our head and our nose and anything else we wanna form. If you're not sure if it's gonna be big enough, you can always take a little bit more, but you need most of this for the body of your cow, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll this up into a ball to start with. And even if it's not a perfect ball, if it ends up being like this, that's fine, okay? And then you wanna flatten it just a little bit like this on the ends to make it a little bit more rectangular, okay? And then I'm gonna lay it on my plate and just kind of press it down a little bit. The first time I made this one, when I made this guy, I made him hollow on the inside, but he was really unstable. And so when I went back and looked at the original pictures, I saw that I don't think that they did that. I think they just left it like this, okay? So you don't want it to be big and wide and round, because then the Model Magic inside will never ever dry, okay? You could also, if you wanted to, hollow it out a little bit like this, just poke your finger into it, but you want it to be a really solid block so it's nice and sturdy so we can build on it, okay? So then the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make the head. So I'm gonna pull off a piece for the head. And again, it's gonna be kind of squared off. These cows are less rounded and more squared off. So I'm gonna make a ball, and then I'm gonna kind of flatten it and square it off. You can put it like this at the front. I liked it kind of to the side, like this, okay? And your teacher's gonna be pausing this every couple of steps, so you can do it and then do it. Okay, Model Magic is really hard to take apart, but if you mess up, we can certainly take it apart and reform it, okay? So now we wanna make the nose and the horns and the ears. Okay, so I'm gonna pull off a teeny tiny, like a thumbprint, like a thumb size. I'm gonna roll it up just like this, okay? Or you can do this into a ball, and then you're gonna kind of smush it between 2 fingers. And then the nice thing about Model Magic is it all sticks. So I'm gonna put the nose on there. And I did something with mine to make 2 little dots in it. I'm gonna show you later. We're not gonna do it right now, okay? And then you need ears and horns, okay? So I'm gonna take 2 little pieces. Look at how small these are. They're not even a fingerprint. I'm gonna do ears. Now, if you don't want horns, you don't have to have horns. Do all cows have horns? No, okay? But I'm gonna do 2 little horns on top so you can see what that looks like. Again, you're just making like 2 little balls about the same size, like this, okay? And then I'm just gonna roll them up on one end so it's kind of pointy. I'm gonna pop it right there, okay? However you need that to be. There's my horns. Now we're not gonna do the tail or anything else yet, and we're not gonna do eyes yet or nose or anything. What we're gonna do next is you're going to do your legs, okay? For your legs, you're gonna get 4 pieces actually of, this is pipe cleaner, cut in half like this, okay? I'm gonna make all of mine orange, but you'll have some choices. They'll already be cut in half like this. You can choose your colors, all right? And then we're gonna come around and put little bowls of like beads at your table, okay? Yours is not gonna be on your plate. I just put mine on my plate to make it a little bit easier on me, all right? But you'll have plates of bowls or bowls of beads, okay? So to make the legs, all right, you're gonna put 5 to 7 beads on each of these. So I'm gonna put 1 bead on, and then I'm gonna fold this pipe cleaner up and around it like this. So that's the end of my cow's little leg. Okay, these are gonna be its legs, right? And then I can do about 5 more beads, and they can be any beads you want. 1, 2, as long as they fit on here. If you get one that doesn't fit, okay, it just doesn't fit. Like this tiny bead doesn't fit, okay? If you get one that doesn't fit, it just doesn't fit. We can't make it fit if it doesn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna do 6 on each one. 6, okay? Then we're gonna set that aside, and you're gonna do another one. Remember, you start with a bead, you wrap the end of the pipe cleaner around it, right? And then you put 5 or 6 more beads on there, okay? So you guys finished making your legs. You're making 4 legs with 5 or 6 beads on them, okay? And then we'll come back and do some more. Okay guys, so now I have my cow all made. He's been sitting here, or she, and then I have my legs. Now this part is way too long, okay? You don't want the leg to be that long, but it's just easier to do it this way. So we will come around, we will trim these, and as you get done, we will stick these back into your cow for you, okay? So I'm gonna wrap this over so I have a little nub right here, okay? And then I'm going to poke a hole right here for it to be in. I'm gonna do one here and one here. See how there's holes now? And then I'm gonna stick it in there. Now the nice thing, there we go. The nice thing about the pipe cleaners is they're fuzzy. So when they dry, they should dry kind of stuck to the hole, like the modeling clay, okay? So I'm gonna do another one. I'm gonna kind of fold it over like this so I have a nubby to stick into my cow. And then I'm gonna cut the extra off with just a pair of scissors, okay? And I've already made the hole. So now I'm gonna pop it in there to the best of my ability. And this will take probably an adult to do this, but if we have some older kids this week, okay? And then if you lose some of your form or shape of your cow, you can always kind of just play with it a little bit more. These are shorter. If you look at this guy, these are longer. I think I had 7 beads on each of these. So you have shorter or longer legs. Doesn't really matter. Okay. So now I'm gonna do the other side, and I'm gonna do 1, 2 holes. Okay. And then I'm gonna fold these over, cut, and insert. Okay, same thing here. Fold it over. Does not need to be very long for my helpers and my adults doing this class. Your nub does not need to be very long. Now I'm gonna make sure these holes are still doing good. Okay, so now our cow has legs. You can lay it back down and kind of reposition him if you want to. The nice thing too about these pipe cleaners is you can kind of position the legs where you want them. Just be careful not to pull them out right now, okay? And you can always do that later when they're more stuck. If you want to take a little piece of pipe cleaner and make a tail, you can, or you should still have some of this left. And I don't want you to make a tail when we first started because it would have gotten messed up, okay? If anything is messed up in that process, we're just gonna reform everything, make sure everything looks how we want it, okay? But I'm gonna make a little pipe cleaner tail, and I'm gonna stick that in there. You don't need help to do this. You just kind of stick it in, and then I'm gonna wrap a piece of this on it. Up to you how you want to do your tail. You don't even have to do this part. Okay, so now that we've got all of this together, so everybody should have their cow put together, okay? And you can still even turn the head a little bit if you want to. All right, so there's my cow, all right? What I did was I took a bead And I didn't leave the bead in there, but I pressed it in on both sides of the nostrils, and you see how it makes a really cool texture that looks just like a nose, okay? The other thing we're gonna do is you're gonna have googly eyes laying around, and we're gonna go ahead and press the googly eyes into the face, and those should dry. I'm just gonna kind of squeeze around the eyes to make sure that they're really stuck in there. Okay, and those should dry. So there's my cute little cow face. And then the last thing that we're gonna do is paint. So I'm gonna take a break and get my paints and then come back and show you how that's gonna work. Okay, we are ready to paint, you guys. So I'm gonna start with the face, and if you follow my directions, you really don't need water cups. So black is last. Everybody say black is last. Anything else that you wanna do before you get to the black, okay? So if this is my cow, all right, which it is, I'm gonna start with the yellow. You're gonna get yellow and black and pink. And I'm gonna paint his horns. The other cool thing about Model Magic is you can paint it while it's still wet. Doesn't have to be perfect to be good. And try to be careful so you don't mess up anything, but I'm getting kind of out of the lines. That's okay. All right, so there's that. Now I'm gonna wipe my paintbrush off and I'm not even rinsing it, I'm just wiping most of it off. And then I'm gonna get my pink. I'm gonna do my pink. And then anything that I want pink, so anything that I want yellow, guess what? I'm doing it all yellow first, right? Anything that I want pink, guess what? I'm doing it pink before I move on to my next color. And if you wipe off your brush on your plate between colors, it helps. Now I wanna do a little more pink on this one. I'm gonna do the inside of the ear here, or you could paint the whole ear, right? Okay. And then I'm gonna give him or her eyebrows. Right there. Okay, got it? All right, and then black is last. You don't really even have to wipe your paintbrush off, and then the black is just kind of for the spots. You can do spots all over your cow, okay? Do them on the back. You can do one that kind of goes on the head and the side. And the nice thing about cow spots is they're different sizes and shapes. They're not really circles or perfect circles, so you don't have to try to make perfect circles. You're just painting it. If you get it on your plate, that's fine. Okay, when you're done, we're gonna get your picture with it, and then this is gonna stay here. We'll write your name on your plate, and this will stay here until tomorrow because it needs to dry. And we might need to check and hit some of these with some hot glue just in case. Some of those legs might need some hot glue, okay? All right, so there's my cute little cow sculpture, and you'll get to take these home tomorrow. Now, if you have a little piece left over, for this sculpture I had this much left over, and for my previous one I had this much left over. So if you have a little bit left, you can make something small out of it, or if you don't want it, you can turn it back in and we can hold on to it and put it in a baggie for maybe somebody else another day. And you can draw a color while you wait, okay? So, hope you guys enjoyed your cow craft, and we will see you tomorrow.